Hey, I'm sending text messages. Good evening, good evening, good evening, millionaires. Good evening, millionaires, and welcome to yet another edition of Good Evening Millionaire. My name is Amma Nancy. I go by Amma the CPA. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. Okay, which means that I am registered and licensed to give the public, right, a different, advice when it comes to a variety of accounting needs. So whether it be credit, taxes, businesses, et cetera, et cetera. I'm your girl, okay? So good evening, millionaire. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. Make sure that you guys share the broadcast. Happy Monday, right? TGIM. Hope everybody is having an amazing, amazing day and, an amazing start to the brand new week. Mondays are always good because you get to start off your new week, fresh and new and all that good stuff. So good evening, millionaire. So go ahead, put in the comments, good evening, millionaire. Let us know where you are calling in from or calling. Let us know where you are watching the broadcast from. So you want to say good evening, millionaire, Chicago, or good evening, millionaire. Thank you, Flower Child, Veggie Girl, for the share. Thank you for the share. Good evening, millionaires. You want to say like, oh, I'm like totally rocking my very, very old school Obama shirt. Obama 08 in pink. Y'all ain't even know this shirt came in pink. Good evening, millionaire. Good evening, millionaire. Okay, so welcome. So go ahead, put in the comments, good evening, millionaire. Let us know where you're calling in from. If this is your first time joining us and you're like, who is she talking to? Millionaire, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking to you. Okay, so we always greet each other by millionaire. Why? Because everything happens 3 times. First time is in your mind, right? You got to be millionaire minded. You have to be a millionaire in your mind first, and then you just waiting on your bank account to catch up. Okay, so you got to be a millionaire in your mind. Everything happens 3 times. So the first is in your mind. The second time is on paper. You always want to write it down and make it plain. And then the third time is in execution. So good evening, millionaire. So I'm personally in my execution phase. So welcome. Make sure that you share the broadcast. Okay, you want to share it not only on your personal page, but also in different groups that you are in. Okay, so share it on your personal page and in different groups that you're in, because you never know how this information can help somebody else. Each one teach one. We can definitely change the world, but we got to stick together. Just remember, we are the ones we have been waiting for, millionaires. Okay, so tonight, I'm talking about how you can get ready for an income emergency, right? Basically, setting up your emergency fund. Oh, but one more thing, one or two more things. Make sure that you guys, we send out all types of cool tips and tricks about success. We have an amazing Facebook group, but we can get you to that. It's called Entrepreneurishment for all my entrepreneurs out there. Make sure that you reach out and just search that group on Facebook. But also all my millionaire-minded family, if somebody could put in the comments how they can join us, by texting 81010 to and at MillMind. I'm like totally having a brain freeze. Texting the number 81010 to at. They can join us at Millionaire Minded. Just like that, they will be enrolled in the world's first free text message service on personal growth and self-development. So make sure that you guys check that out. Good evening, millionaires. Right. Also, make sure that you guys check out AmmaTheCPA.com. You can always go to AmmaTheCPA.com. It's some cool video series on there. All you have to do is put your information in there. You can also request a free 30-minute consultation with yours truly, right? But go ahead, if you think you have like a income problem, right? So we're going to go through how you can establish your emergency fund. But a lot of times people may look at stuff like this and say like, okay, this is cool, but I don't have any extra money. How can I put anything away? So if that's you, if you feel like you are living paycheck to paycheck, if you feel like you don't have any extra money, what I want you to do is go to AmmaTheCPA.com and check out a free video series that I made. It's very short. It's only 3 videos, but it walks you through step by step on increasing your cash flow. A lot of us in America, we feel like, we don't make enough money, and this to be true because we go out, we get second jobs and, and stuff like that. We ask our bosses for raises, and I'm not saying that maybe you deserve more money, right? But we are in a country of high-paid poor people, which means that we make a lot of money when you compare us to other countries, but we have a lot of problems managing our money. So if you can check that video series out, if that's you, it'll definitely help you get back on track. So good evening, millionaires. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Make sure that you guys share the broadcast, and let me check because I know how y'all do. Not sharing. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to pull it up in a second because y'all know I can't see it. Or maybe you don't if you're joining us for the first time. I cannot see it on my computer because I'm on my computer, so I can't see the shares unless I get on my phone. I don't know. Sometimes I can see it, sometimes I can't. Okay, so let me see. Okay, got some comments and some shares. Good evening, millionaires. I appreciate you guys. So make sure that you continue to share on your personal page as well as in different groups that you're in. So establishing your emergency fund. So why is this important, right? The first thing is, how do I want to call this? I don't know if I want to say an A and a B. Let's go with an A and a B, and then we're going to do 1 through 5. So the first one, A and B, we're going to go through why you need to set this up. Okay, so A, give me an A and a share. Give me the letter A and a share. Is you want to establish your emergency fund because it can really, really set you back. Think about it like this. Like a lot of times, like anytime I volunteer with like a homeless shelter and stuff like that, I just ask them like, man, so what happened? And you will be surprised how, some people were caught up in drugs and gangs and stuff like that, and it really just messed them up. But some people were just like you and me, regular, everyday people with families and stuff like that. And the shelter that I volunteer at, the mission here in Chicago, they even have it separate. So when it is families, they can't even go in there together. It's like men and then women and children. Men and then women and children, right? Completely separate. And I get it, but it's like, it can really mess you up. So anytime I talk to any of them and they say like, it was just one thing after another. It was one thing after another. Like this broken and that broken and that broken and that, and you end up trying to pay for it and you just can't catch up because you're already living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're going over why you need to set up your emergency fund, and then we're going to roll in how to do it. So it can really set you back and things can kind of spiral out of control. And think about it like this. Have you guys ever noticed how sometimes one thing may happen, or how they say, perfect example, when they say like, man, when it rains, it pours, right? When it rains, it pours. And you're like, yes, when it rains, it pours, right? And that's exactly what happens. It's like one thing happens and then something else. And then you're like, I'm barely recovering from this one thing. And here goes something else, and then you never even know. Like, perfect example, I went to the dealership over the weekend and I was just so happy that I did not have to pay like a whole bunch of money. I promise anytime I go to the, anytime I go to the Benz dealership, it's like $1 million. I feel like, I'm like, okay, and they're like, well, you wanted to drive this car. No, but seriously, so perfect example, one time I went, this actually happened to me twice. I went because my light was like low. It gave me a signal that said like low beam or whatever, right? So then I go to the dealership. I'm totally prepared to pay like, I don't know, $50 for a replacement light. Do you know it was an electrical malfunction and I had to pay $800? $800 to get the whole light taken out and put back in. And then that happened to me twice, right? And then come to find out, they were like, oh, because these are the limited edition and it was malfunction. I was like, oh, okay. So that happened to me twice. So then that ended up being $1,600 that I had to pay for just for lights on my car. So, and it was like, it's not like it was an old, it was just something that happened because it was one of those malfunctions with the cars, like whatever. But it's just a perfect example of like how you go in for one thing, you thinking it's you thinking that it's a $50 light bulb and it ends up being an $800 electrical replacement. They had to take the whole thing out. So that's A, and I need to hurry this up. Okay. B, A and B. A and B. Okay, so B, give me B and a share. Put B in the comments and share the broadcast. Good evening, millionaires. Put B in the comments. If you guys save only $20 a week, $20 every single week, it's like $1,000 in a year. And the reason why that's important is because sometimes you go out, it really comes out to be $1,040. But what happens is, when it comes to like saving money and stuff like that, it just seems so daunting. You're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get this done? They're telling me I got to have like $2,500, $3,000 saved up. How am I going to come up with that? So that's what you want to do. If you feel like you don't have any money to set aside, start with $20 a week. You'll have $1,000 by the end of the year. 52 weeks in a year, $20 times 52 is $1,040. Okay, so give me a number 1 and a share because I don't want to keep you out here all night. Give me a number 1 and a share. If you're just joining us, welcome to the replay. Or welcome to the broadcast, and make sure that you still put everything in the comments that we ask, and also make sure that you share the broadcast not only on your personal page but also in different groups that you are in. So good evening, millionaire. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, give me a number 1 and a share. Give me a number 1 and a share on establishing your emergency fund. Is make sure that you chart your income and expenses. So if you guys need help with this, I definitely have some systems and some software that I can offer to you guys that can help. But you want to chart your income and your expenses and make sure that you include monthly but also quarterly and also any discretionary stuff. A lot of times, millionaire, it's really millionaires. It's really our discretionary stuff that takes advantage of us, right? Which means that it's like the movies, it's the dining out, it's the clothing, the hair, the nails, and stuff like that, the makeup, right? That's the type of stuff that really gets us. So you want to make sure that you list everything out. The best way that I always say to do this is like print out 3 months of your bank statements and get to work, okay? Go through everything. But give me a call, shoot me an inbox or something like that if you need help with it. Number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 2 and a share. We're going over how to set up your emergency fund. Number 2 and a share. So put a number 2 in the comments and share the broadcast on your personal page. My phone is so distracting. Every time somebody like text or like something, it's like a total distraction. I apologize. Okay, so make sure that you guys set a goal. So this is what you want to do. So like how we just did with the $1,000. Now, you really should start off your emergency fund. You should really have in there anywhere like a mini emergency fund, okay? So you want to, the main goal is like a big emergency fund, which is like 6 to 8 months of your expenses. This is like, you want to start off with your mini emergency fund though first. The mini emergency fund can take care of like when you got to get the lights replaced. The light sockets replaced on your car for $800 and stuff like that. Your furnace, you need new tires, etc., etc. It can take care of that. Your long-term emergency is like, hey, God forbid you get sick and you have to wait a period of time for your short-term disability, and now you actually need to live off of your savings. Make sure that you guys check out my sister actually wrote an article. It's posted on my Facebook page, so make sure that you guys check that out for any time like any family members come get sick out of nowhere, right? Because it definitely ties directly into having an emergency fund as well, right? So make sure that you guys check that out. So you want to set up a goal, right? So number 2 is set up a goal. So let's say if you're like, you want to have $3,000. If you say 3,000 divided by 52 weeks in a year, you can save $58 a week. You know, $58 a week. Or if that's too much, then just say like, okay, so $2,000. How much is that? That's $38 a week, right? But you want to figure out and just set up a goal, right? Set up your goal. So number 2 is set up a goal, and then 3 is your plan. Okay, so give me a number 3 and a share. Put a number 3 in the comments and share the broadcast, right? Make sure that you share it on your personal page, but also in different groups that you are in as well. Give me a number 3 and a share. So your plan. So after you figure out what your goal is, now you want to back into it like how we just did. Okay, so so $58 a week. What is that? Where is that money coming from? And that's the point of listing out all your expenses. So you can say, okay, so if, I don't know, if every week you go out to eat, and maybe you guys get drinks and sparkling water and appetizers and all this stuff, maybe you say like, okay, so instead of doing that every week, I'm going to just go every other week. And maybe the off week, invite people over, you know, and then this is where it can come, some of that extra money can come in, and you'll be surprised how much you can save by having people over as opposed to going out. Because remember, when you go out, now you also have to tip, and we are very generous tippers, right, millionaires? Okay, so remember, you always want to tip. So just think about that and come up with your plan to figure out how you are actually going to get to whatever goal it is that you set. Okay, number 4, give me a number 4 and a share. Give me a number 4 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Put a number 4 in the comments and share the broadcast. And this is one of those sparkling waters. This is not like pop, for the record. Number 4 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 4 and a share. Make sure that you share it on your personal page as well as in different groups that you are in. Good evening, millionaire. Okay, make sure that you have your emergency fund accessible, but not too accessible. So what do I mean by that? Now, you want to have it accessible, like not in a certificate of deposit. A lot of times, if you go to a bank and you're like, man, I want to save us some money, they're like, okay, can you open up a CD? It's like, no, I do not want to open up a CD. A certificate of deposit. Why? Because this emergency fund is not for that. I'm not saying you never want to open up a CD, but for your emergency fund purposes, you want to be able to access it. A certificate of deposit is going to say you cannot access this for at least a year, or you cannot access it for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, right? They have different terms on them. So you want it to be accessible, like you want to be able to go to the bank and get it out, but at the same time, I do not recommend putting it in like your same exact bank where, you know, it's your with your checking account, because this will help you from like impulse buys. A lot of times, and I'm sure like it happens to a lot of people, you go somewhere and you see something and you're like, oh my God, I've got to have it. I got to have it, right? It's on sale. You're like, man, it's going to be sold out. And then you check your bank balance and then you're like, but then you're like, oh yeah, I got the money in my savings account, so when I get paid on Friday, so I'm going to take it from my savings and I get paid on Friday, I'm going to just put it right back. No, you won't. You know, that's just human nature, millionaires. You won't put it back. it's going to be very difficult for you to put it back. The only times you'll put it back is like if it's like $20, $40. When it's like $100 and you're already tight, you aren't going to have $100 to put back plus the $100 that it's time for you to save again. Or, you know, the $20 for that matter, you got to put the $20 back plus the $20 because it's time for you to save up again. So you know, chances are you won't have it. So you want to make it accessible, like you can get to it when it's an emergency, but not too accessible where you can get to it when it is like time for you to do like any impulse buys. You're like, oh my God, I have just got to have that. Okay. Number 5. Give me a number 5 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 5. Put number 5 in the comments on Facebook and then share the broadcast. Make sure you share it in your group as well as on your personal page. Each one teach one, we can change the world. You never know how this information can help other people. So number 5 is stick to your plan. Just stick to it. You know, you can also scroll back through my page. I did a couple videos on the importance of consistency and just how being consistent, like you'll look up and you will be surprised by how much you have accomplished. So you want to really stick to your goals. A lot of times it's not that goals don't work. You know, it's like we give up before we can even get to it. So you want to make sure that you stick to your plan, millionaires. And like I said, make sure that you guys reach out to me if it's anything that I can ever do. Right, my name is AmmaTheCPA, which stands for Certified Public Accountant. Let me see. What am I talking about tomorrow? How to start saving today. Right? How to start saving, okay? Because not only do you want to have your emergency fund, you also want to have you know, a savings, right? Your long-term emergency fund. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, how to start saving today. Each one teach one, we can change the world. I'm Amma the CPA. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Good evening, millionaire.